Welcome back to the Retire Southern podcast, where we share authentic experiences and meaningful connections from the heart of the American South. Our message is simple: don't wait for retirement to start living. I'm your host, James Lewis, and today Amanda and I are at our home in Roswell, Georgia, seated at our kitchen island, which is the perfect venue to interview our guest, Erica Tuggle. Erica is the founder and CEO of Livin, and she is on a mission to create greater access to nutritious homemade food, greater opportunities for family to spend time together, and better work for passionate culinary professionals. Erica, welcome to the Retire Southern podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. So glad to be here.
Amanda, are you excited to be here today too? You don't look nearly as excited as Erica. All right. So look, we're just going to dive right in. So can you just explain to our listeners, in your words, what Livin is and what it's all about to you?
Yeah. Livin is really all about exactly what you said. We want to help families get time back, and we want to help them make healthier choices and have healthier habits more consistently. Those two things are really important to us, and honestly come from a place of just being really important to me with my own family. But as I was, growing in my career, I was finding that it was really hard to do those things, which seemed so essential to me. And so what we do at our core is we connect people with in-home personal chefs who are local culinary artists, really amazing at their work and looking for opportunities to feed people. They love to share love through food. And so we essentially provide them with the tools and to basically run their business and support their business and help them find clients and customers. Then we bring those two together on our platform, which is at chooselivin.com, where customers can easily set up recurring services with chefs. They can select menus, they can upload menus, all of those things to have dinner on the table without having to do all the work yourself.
You're a mom, you're a mother of two, right? Amanda and I are a blended 6. So 6 kids altogether, which is why we were so intrigued to reach out and connect with you all. But so, just tell us a little bit about your journey, from, undergrad to Harvard Business School, General Mills, Coca-Cola mom, and then you start this company. Like, how did this all evolve? Yeah.
It's funny. I think early on, I always wanted to start a business and kind of build my own thing, but I don't think I really knew what that meant. Okay. I'm learning more and more every day. But it came from a place of wanting to have impact and wanting to, help people. And I went to your point, I grew up in Connecticut really early. Let's go back far. Okay. Grew up in Connecticut, in a family that did sit around the table for dinner, and with the mother who worked, but also, provided meals for the family that were healthy and wonderful and helped me really connect with my own nutrition and my family. And I always tell people, I'm like, the work dynamics are so different today than they were back then. And I think that's been the big shift. And that's what I realized as I kind of went through all those stages that you talked about. I went to NYU undergrad, found my passion in marketing, which is really just about understanding people and communicating with people. And then decided, I loved what I was doing at that time at American Express, but I wanted to get more business education and more well-rounded business education. And that was about, again, wanting to start something and build something, but also wanting to have the knowledge to do so. So I ended up going to Harvard Business School to do that, which was also a phenomenal experience. And I think really the first place where I got to see up close entrepreneurs and founders starting to build, which was not only inspiring, but also just really interesting to me.
What years were you at Harvard? I
came out in 2010, so 2008 to 2010.
Okay.
So I did my MBA there. And when I came out, I went into the food industry. So I actually, even though I took some entrepreneurship classes, I didn't quite have like a problem to solve or something that was meaningful to me or that I felt like I could do well. And so, so I ended up going into food. I went to General Mills. And so I got to see kind of the ins and outs of how we get convenient food to shelf, and how, some of the choices that have to be made and some of the challenges in creating food that is both healthy, but also, can sustain, basically supply chain. And so that was really interesting to me. I did lean into some of the brands that had more kind of a health and wellness bend while I was there, because that was really interesting to me, but ultimately ended up coming down to Atlanta, which is what got me here through Coca-Cola. Okay. So they reached out with an opportunity to continue my marketing, experience, which is what I was doing at General Mills. And that was really special in that it did help me broaden as a business leader, dive more into innovation and product development, again, solving problems for consumers in different ways, and had the opportunity there to work on great brands like Sprite and Honest Tea. Honest Tea was probably the most special because it was an acquisition. So, right, there's a founder there, there's a story there, there's a journey that was really interesting to me that Seth had been on to build that business. And so I had that opportunity. And then I ended my career there actually while I was on Coke brand, which was really probably all the roles were interesting, but this one was fascinating to me because I was leading, amongst other things, the Coca-Cola and food strategy, which is basically a pairing strategy. And so I learned a lot about, again, like the food industry now with a little bit more restaurants sprinkled in, a little bit more chef engagement sprinkled in. And so while all this is happening, my personal life is also continuing to change and grow. And with that, I got married right around the time I went to Coke, had my first child while I was on Sprite, and then had my second child right before I went to the bigger Coke role. And that was a game changer. Like 6, I'm like, whoo, God bless, because 2, I was like, oh my God, what are we doing? But even after my first one, honestly, I had this idea where I was like, look, I'm now very busy. I'm either working or trying to support this infant, and we still need to eat well. We need to eat, but then I'd like us also to eat well. And so anyway, I ended up at that point after our first being like, I need to figure out like how we're going to do this without ordering and, always doing frozen or always doing the things that just weren't the way I like to eat.
And
like
so kit meals and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Even kit meals. Cause who has time for that? I was like, I tried HelloFresh and I was like, I don't have time for this. I was actually very disappointed.
We're not knocking HelloFresh.
Yes, sorry. But
that's fine.
Any meal
They're
kits.
not listening. Don't worry.
Any meal kits. But, I tried these things and I was like very disappointed when I realized I still had to do all the work. And that was the part I was trying to cut out. So anyway, after my second, it got even harder and being in a bigger job and traveling more and all those things. As you know, the schedules they don't get easier. It came, to my mind as I was talking to other parents that like, wow, there are actually people out here who love to cook, who like want to do that for other families, but it's about finding them, making sure they're great. And that you want to work with them. And there really wasn't a platform that did that. And so that was kind of, long story from the very beginnings to like eating homemade food, from my mom with my family to like after, building out my career and business education and then having my own family, how Livin kind of was born as an idea, at least. Yeah. So we did start connecting people with cooks through Google Forms. I was actually one of the cooks at the time. I had just 2 others that I found through friends really to support and help me, see if we could take on more customers. Literally people we'd send it out through text groups, have people send it out to mom text groups, all of that. And we started getting customers. And it was really exciting for me because we also saw people coming back. And that's like what you really want, right? Like
you're having repeat business.
You want exactly. And so, so we started like that. Quickly went into a program called Techstars, which funds very early stage companies.
So how did you find Techstars or how did they find you? I was curious about that.
Great question. I found them through, honestly, just talking to people. So I mentioned like business school is a great opportunity for me to kind of see founders really in action for the first time.
So are they like a venture capital group? Or like...
They are. So technically venture capital. They run an accelerator though, and they run it in various locations throughout the world. Okay. And so there's an Atlanta Techstars, but there's also, all other cities really that you could probably think of, or most cities. And then they also do a virtual one. Actually, for anyone who's interested, they do a Techstars Anywhere, which is virtual. So you can really join from anywhere. But you go through the application process. So I learned about them and there are a lot of other accelerators. So I learned about a bunch of them, and they do info sessions. So I went to the info session, tried to figure out which ones seemed to fit, who I was and what I wanted to get. And they were really well aligned. And so I applied for the Atlanta one, was thrilled to get in after the interviews and everything. They really helped me because I wasn't a founder before, right? I was in corporate America my entire career.
Right.
So I really didn't know where to start. And they really helped provide the foundation of like, even just things like, okay, how should we be thinking about KPIs for this type of business? Okay. Like what are the people, like what's the network you should start to build so that because we're building software at the core of Livin to make it run easily and simply for chefs and customers. And so who are those people? Like, how do I connect with the product and software people and designers and people that I had never even thought about working, with before, and things like fundraising. So they're really good at kind of setting the foundation, in my opinion. And so went through that program. And then after about a year after that, we actually went out to raise additional funding because all the sellers, it's a small check, right? Okay. And so we realized that if we were going to grow and kind of build in the way that we wanted to build, and some of that included a rebrand and also building out our software, we needed some dollars to do that, some investment. Yes. And so that was 23, where we went out to the market for our pre-seed. We ended up raising $1 million with a little bit more sense, but our main investor being Slauson & Co. out of California, out of Los Angeles, and they've been amazing partners. But that really helped us make the evolution and transition to Livin, because what we ended up doing was a complete rebrand that was really answering what we were hearing from customers and seeing from customers, and also who we wanted to be, like our vision for what this business could be. So we were hearing people talk about health and wellness, like they were talking to us, coming to us with that as a motivator, and this idea of wanting to live healthier, but also wanting to get their time back to do the things with their life that they really wanted to be doing, which ranged. That could be a nap, or that could be time with family. That could be time at the gym. Like there's a broad range there, and we don't judge. But the whole idea is like, how do you live well? Sure. Which is why I love what you guys are about as well, right? Yep. Like before you retire, live well. So that came through really clearly to us, and we wanted to reflect that in our branding. We also have visions for this to be like a household and highly shareable brand and a lifestyle brand. And Cook Connect just didn't have that appeal to it. It was very transactional. So we need something a little bit more emotional that people could get behind and get excited about. So anyway, so we did all of those things too. And then also hopefully have something that, we can own, right? In a brand name that isn't just based on domain availability. Sure. Yeah. So in fact, it's not great for domain availability. But that being said, we're really happy with the transition to Livin and just what, it represents about us and what we're trying to do, but then also to our customers.
So what's fascinating to me is you literally, well, it seems like, unless I got this wrong, you left Cook, you cut the cord and then pivoted and did this. How scary was that?
Yeah. So I highly recommend trying to do two things at once, right? That's what I always tell people. What was really hard, and I get this, and a lot of people are in that situation. For me personally, I was working so hard, and that's just kind of my MO. Like that's how it sounds like I have a friend in the room on that one. Yep. But so I was working all the time, and there was just no time for me. Like I couldn't fathom how I would fit this in, right? To try to build something on the side. That being said, people always tell me you find the time and, and you figure it out. So that I think is that's the best way to go. What happened with me was actually really interesting. So we at Coca-Cola, it was right after, a little bit after COVID had started, I should say. So we were in the midst of it. And Coke was doing voluntary separation agreements. And so if you had been at the company more than 3 years, you got a package. And everybody had a choice to stay or go.
So this is like spring of 2020?
It was, it was actually the fall. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I didn't even think about it. And my husband was like, you've been thinking about this thing, do you want to, this seems like a perfect opportunity to have a little bit of time with the package and then, figure it out. And so it was actually just perfect opportunity. Okay. Like I'm a very faithful person. And I was like, I think this is just, the best signal and opportunity for me at this time. And it was actually a very hard decision because I always tell people I loved Coke and I loved the people there that I was working with. I loved the work I was doing was phenomenal, honestly. And I think we were all surprised that including myself, that I decided to take the package. But I did. And it was that in and of itself, honestly, was a tough decision for me, even though it did give me a little bit of padding and time to figure something else out. But it's always hard to leave something super familiar and go into something completely unknown. And as I was mentioning, I don't think I really knew what it was to start a business. I don't know if you do until you do it. But it comes with so many things, both wonderful, but also incredibly difficult. And so I was right to be scared, but I'm still really glad that I did it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So why don't we talk about let's talk about what a typical live-in service might look like, from booking to clean up. Just why don't you explain how that all works?
Yeah. Oh, great question. Most people don't have a chef coming in to cook for them, but our goal is to make it more accessible and more common, right?
So I'm going to pull Amanda into this because Amanda loves to watch. She loves to watch her stories on Instagram, and so she follows different people. And I think you follow Matthew Stafford's wife, right?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Who doesn't?
And and I was like thinking about this, I never would have considered a personal chef. To me, that's for people like Matthew Stafford and his wife. Like, I'm not a pro quarterback, I'm not like rolling in debt.
He does have a personal chef, by the way.
I know.
Of course.
I know. Of course. So it's not, but this is your whole bent. It's like not for the Matt Staffords of the world. And, I was joking around, but Amanda and I probably see each other passing in our cars more than we see each other in our house because, how many nights a week are you driving up to Cumming?
5.
For a cheer?
Goodness. Well, 5.
Yeah, 5 nights a week.
Wow.
Round trips to Cumming. We have a competitive cheerleader. There's, marching band at Milton. There's football on Saturdays. There's all kinds of stuff. So how much time do you have to cook?
Not as much as I want, but I think about it all the time. I was the same growing up. Like my mom had my mom was a homemaker, and every night we had family dinner at the table, and she cooked a different meal. And I always on the weekends, I'm like, this is the week I'm going to do it. And you know what? It doesn't happen. I just can't find time to do it.
Yeah.
There's other things that pop up, but it's like the intention is there, but getting it done is just
But the one thing
impossible.
I will say is you still have carried that forward from your mom, because even if you're running through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, or more than likely we're having Uber Eats delivered with Chick-fil-A, which isn't, to your point, like the healthiest option, but it's still Amanda's a Chick-fil-A person, I'm a Popeyes person because, well, we don't have to go down that road. But going back to the main point, you still carry forward that tradition, even though it might be Chick-fil-A, you're still anchoring them here at this kitchen island, and we're all still sitting down and having dinner together. And so that's why we're so curious to try this.
Yeah.
And when we started looking at the website to book it, so go back into it. So
it's
the
so
steps.
important. Yeah, absolutely. And so it's really easy for our customers. Essentially, they come to our site and they're able to select a plan. So,
and one second, the website is chooselivin.com, and there's no G.
There is no G. It's Livin.
Right. Chooselivin.com.
Yeah.
So you go there.
So chooselivin, Livin.com. You can go there and click sign in or sign up. And you're just going to answer a couple of questions. You're going to tell us, how many people need to be fed and how many meals you're going to want, essentially. Or those are the two things you have to decide you're going to want in a service.
Number of people, number of meals.
Yeah, because the chef is going to come into your home and they're going to prepare all of those meals in one service. So you're basically setting up, what does one service for me look like? Like, what do I need? And that makes it so that it's more convenient for you. But then you also then have meals that you can eat, for however many days you've kind of ordered them for.
Right.
So once that happens, then you're basically set your plan. You can set that for weekly. You can set that for monthly. If you need something in between, you can give us a call and we'll make it work for you. And then you go to schedule. You can schedule your chef for really any time. People are always like, oh, is it only Monday through Friday? It's like, no, we work with a network of chefs who are cooking. They're in restaurants sometimes on Saturdays and Sundays. They're cooking every day. And so we literally have availability every day of the week and most times. And so you can select your date and time. Then you're going to select your menu. What people love about our menu is that it does have a lot of variety, but it also changes the first of every month, which is really exciting for people. And then on top of that, if you just don't see something you like and you like, I love this. We get a lot of Instagram recipes and you're like, you've been watching something on Instagram or whatever, and you just really want to try it. Yeah. Great. We have an add your own menu item. So add your own menu item and your chef will, can get that information and try it for you. So that's pretty fun too. So anyway, so you set your date and time, you pick your menu, and you're also able to request your chef as well.
Right.
If you see people whose profiles you really get excited about, and that's it. You submit that request through our platform, and the chefs that you really liked will be invited to that service, and they'll finalize for you the date and the time that they're able to come. If they have any questions, they'll pass that through as well through us to you. And that's really how it goes in terms of getting everything set up. Then it's time for your service day. Before that, you're going to get a couple of messages from us just helping you prepare, make sure you have your food storage containers, reminder that the chef is coming, all those things. And
we dropped the ball, by the way.
No.
I dropped the ball. Pro tip, if you're listening out there and you try Livin, get the storage containers before they come. Thankfully, Amanda has 85 million storage options in our kitchen cabinets. But yeah, I had to throw that out there.
Yes.
Make sure you get the storage before they come, because, if you get 10 meals made or 15 meals made, you got to store it.
It's a lot of Tupperware. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta put it somewhere. People ask us that all the time too. Yeah. So don't hesitate to reach out. We always tell people, if you have a question, just reach out. Our phone number, we actually have real people, right, who will support you and help. And so anyway, that is a big one though, the Tupperware. So once they come, they're going to come in with fresh ingredients, that chef. They're going to prepare the meals that you ordered. They will then clean up after the service to return the kitchen to how they found it, and then store everything for you. So they'll put, into the containers, put it into the fridge, etc. So you're really set to go, and you don't have to spend the time cooking, chopping, planning, prepping, all of that stuff. Instead, you can enjoy those meals, and they are definitely going to be healthier than what you're doing otherwise. Mainly, obviously, it's fresh and whole ingredients, but we also have a menu that we really prioritize being balanced and providing healthy and nutritious ingredients. So
you hit on something that I think is really key here, because we always kind of just like dance right over this when you said fresh ingredients. You eliminate the trip to the grocery store. I mean, hiring Livin eliminates the trip to the grocery store. So, Amanda, think about that. Like I know you and I probably go to the grocery store how many times a day?
At least once.
At least once a
day. I even
day.
thought about it this morning.
Right. And normally, like, we might both go to the grocery store at different times on the same day, which is completely inefficient. But that was one of the things that really hit home to me. So we had Chef Isha. She literally showed up professionally dressed, right, with a smile on her face. She had all of her cooking tools. Now, she used our pots and pans, which is part of the gig.
Yes. Great point.
We're kind of minimalist when it comes to pots and pans, but she made it work.
Yeah.
So she showed up with her whole set of knives. She had her box of spices, and she had all the ingredients.
She came in. We gave her a quick tour of the kitchen. She was like, perfect. Asked about, spice level. Yeah. She was like, okay, I'm going to get started. She did her thing. I got my daughter. I did all my laundry. I got everything ready for the next day. I was like, I got so much done. And the house smelled wonderful.
Yes.
Came home and everything was prepared. She was cleaning as she went. Literally, the way you explained it is exactly how it happened.
I love it.
The kitchen was spotless when she left. And the pots and pans were perfect. Everything was put back up.
Yeah.
Whatever the Hippocratic Oath is, do no harm, or the Boy Scout motto, leave it how you found it. That was the first thing she says, I'm going to leave this kitchen how I found it.
Yep.
And she did.
And she really did, which is a high test, because the person, someone cleans our house once a week, and they come on Wednesday morning. So she came, when the kitchen is probably at its peak cleanliness. And when she left, it was still at its peak cleanliness. So the 3 meals that she prepared for us, so we'll just talk about these. So we did the lemon chicken with summer squash and zucchini over cauliflower rice. That was one of the meals we did. Then we did the chili lime salmon topped with a summer peach salsa over coconut rice with a tricolor slaw. And we did the Mexican street corn bowl with black beans and brown rice. And Amanda, what was your favorite?
I loved the street corn bowl. It was so good.
Yeah.
But all of them were delicious.
I was going to street corn, salmon, and then lemon. But if I had to rank them, not that the lemon chicken was bad.
Yeah, I love the salmon. That's one of my.
I was going to ask you, what are some of your favorites on the menu?
That one in particular, very seasonal right now. But that one is one of my favorites, especially the coconut rice. I really love because it's so different. I really, before we had it, I never had it actually. And then there's another one. We have a chipotle braised beef, which is really good too. And it's not. I don't think it's on the menu this month. And then there are, the Tuscan salmon, I always tell people we've literally had since day one because people just love it. It's a wonderful salmon with a cream sauce. We do it in a lot of our tastings that we do. That's really delicious. And I should throw in, my kids love, so the fajitas, my kids love, those are also very popular in general.
Okay.
But they also love is it the beef and broccoli? I think it is. That's one of their faves. And the chicken marsala, which is one of their faves. So yeah, we get through quite a bit of the menu.
You can pick favorites, right?
Yes.
So if you really like the chicken marsala, you can just pick that as a favorite on your profile.
Yep.
And even if it's not on the menu that month, they know it's your favorite and you can still prepare it.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So we had a customer, this kind of comes from, we talk to customers all the time. It's, the best way to build your business. And so we had a customer who told us early on, show me that you know me. Because I'm giving you information every time I order, and she's a, weekly orderer. And so one of the things that we introduced was you can basically curate your own menu. So if you loved something, if you love the corn bowl, Mexican corn bowl, if you loved the peach salsa with that salmon, you can favorite it and it goes into your own curated menu so that you can go back to that menu and pick from it whenever you want.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Isha, she was, Amanda and I both who didn't work food service in college?
I know.
Right? Everybody worked food service. Like Amanda was like, what did you do? You're a hostess, you're a waitress, what'd you do?
And a server. I was a hostess and a server. Mm-hmm.
So they never let me serve people because I'm too rude. So I was always in the kitchen, right? And so like I was cooking. So I like to cook. I mean, we do love cooking.
I know, that's my thing.
We just don't have the time to do it. And what I loved about Isha is she was doing her thing, and I was just kind of sitting in here watching her. And when she started putting together the peach salsa, she's like, "You want to know how to put this together?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And so she just like kind of pulled me in. She's like, here are all the ingredients. I need some lemon juice, some sugar. So she was also kind of teaching me some different things. So like if I want to try something on a weekend or something like that, I could. But we were even talking about like after the meal, like, man, that peach salsa would really pair well with the blank,
Mm-hmm. So. She was so efficient too. It was way quick. She cooked 3 meals and it was so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, she cooked like 9 plates of food. So like 3. So we did.
Yeah.
We did me, Amanda, and Davis.
Okay.
Right? Because we have a couple of picky eaters, so we didn't want to get too crazy. We can talk about how to address
selective eaters.
Sorry, Amanda. We have selective eaters. So we did 2 adults, 1 child, and Davis is basically an adult anyway. So 3 adults, and we picked those 3 meals. But I mean, it basically is 9 plates of food, and there was extra, so it's only like 10 or 12 plates of food. But she came in at 5:00.
Yeah.
With the ingredients, cooked, cleaned, packaged, gone at 7, 2 hours.
Nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what?
And we even had a little like oven. She would have gone sooner if our oven wasn't being crazy.
She wanted to set the timer. Instead of setting the timer, I turned off the oven. And she's like, why isn't this chicken getting to 165? And I realized, I'm like, oh crap, I turned off the oven, so I'm turning off the timer. That's on me, Isha. That's on me. Sorry.
But to your point, like the efficiency, that's why I tell people it's remarkable to us too, because we've had to, learn like what are average service times and like that sort of thing. And I sit there and I'll be chopping a cucumber for like 3 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot. They can chop a cucumber in literally seconds. It's so impressive. But I always also tell people, I'm like, this is what they do. And it's awesome. Like it is their talent and their skill and their passion, and they do it every day. And so doing it for you is really, it's easy, but they're also great. So, yeah.
So I think that, at least I'll say this, the 2 roadblocks for me, it's in my head, like why I'd never hire a personal chef. To me, it's like, it's going to be too expensive. And I don't know the stranger who's coming into my house. So tackle both of those, whichever order you want to go in. How do you screen the chefs? Like how do you vet the chefs? Background checks, whatever. Yep, exactly. And kind of like talk about just the cost per plate and the value add.
Yeah. So we really do focus on chef quality and the chef network. And so we will, run job posts. We'll also work through referral networks and individuals that we have to get applications in. We review every application and do a series of things. So you're going to do a more traditional interview. If you're looking at living as a chef, you're going to also do a background check, and then you'll do a tasting interview. And the tasting is really about looking for the things that you guys talked about: cleanliness, organization, quality of food, taste of food, all of that, ability to handle the unexpected, which, like an oven being turned off. Those are all really important, skills and real life situations that they may be in. And so we need to understand those. So all of that happens to basically green light someone to be what we call verified on the platform, in addition to them maintaining and uploading their food safety certificate so that we know that they are certified in safe food handling. On the other side, to your point, so that's the first piece, getting good chefs. On the pricing side, our goal is to be competitive with takeout. You mentioned Uber Eats, Chick-fil-A, which can we've done that as well. And we're like, oh my God, how much did we just spend on this chicken sandwich? It gets really expensive, but that's what a lot of people are doing because it is easy and it's, you can, it's right on your phone. Like you can make it happen. Our goal is to be competitive with that. And so our pricing is competitive with that, which most people don't know.
Right.
And is, to your point, not what you expect for someone coming into your home, but really you can get a Livin meal for here in Atlanta as low as $20 a plate, which is on par with what you're going to likely be spending on the apps with fees and all of that. And so that is our goal. But what that means in like real numbers, because people are ordering multiple plates, right? Like you guys said, you guys had 9 plates. So most of our customers are somewhere between $150 and like $360 in terms of what they're spending on each service. So that's usually a weekly service or monthly, as I mentioned, that people might be getting. That means that they're getting anywhere between like 4 and like 16 plates is kind of that range that I gave you. So when people compare that to the grocery store shopping and the delivery apps and what they might do in an average week, it actually is quite competitive, but you do get better food, better health, and you don't have to spend any time.
Well, I'll just say this. When we Uber Eat sushi, so like we'll Uber Eat sushi for me, Amanda and Davis. We don't do it every night. To get sushi for 3 people, I mean, just like, you know, a roll for me, a roll for Davis, a roll for you, and a couple of sides of fried rice, it's $100. That's $33 a person. I'm just doing the math.
Well, and sometimes it takes over an hour to get here. So
right.
I mean, you have to think about the time it takes to get the food as well.
And Amanda knows my love for math and Excel, but no, I was like breaking it down, and I'll do you one better. I mean, so like when I was like running the numbers, it was like $17.73 a plate. So just under $20 to use Livin.
On promo too, yep.
And the food was great, and it was fresh, and I saw every ingredient that went into it. And it was prepared right in front of me, so it wasn't like some esoteric thing. Like, I didn't have to worry about the DoorDash driver, you know, like making 18 stops and putting a hot pizza on top of my cold sushi.
Yes.
God, I sound so terrible.
Yes. Sounds disgusting.
The holidays are right around the corner. You know, we got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. So in addition to just doing meal prep, do you guys do plated dinners? Do you do parties? Will you cook someone's Thanksgiving dinner? Like, talk about that.
Yeah, we love gatherings, as we call them.
Okay.
So in addition to the meal prep is the majority of the business, but we do, especially around the holiday season, a lot of dinner parties and gatherings. And so it works a little bit differently because you're just doing one meal, or you might have multiple meals, but you're doing one plating, I should say. And essentially, again, you go to chooselivin.com. You can submit a request for quote, and we'll gather some information from you around how many people, you know, if there are kids and adults, give us that mix. You know, if there are any chefs that you've heard about on our platform, because a lot of people come in from referrals and they know exactly who they want. And so go ahead and put that in there, as well as when you're looking to have the service and the menu ideas that you might have. We also do have a specific dinner party or gathering menu that helps for people who are just trying to start, you know, getting an idea of what they might want to eat. And for Thanksgiving is really fun. So we always run like a special service, and it's usually 2 things. One are sides only, because we found that a lot of people are like, I just don't want to do all the sides. Like,
that's really my favorite part of the Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
Can we just do a sidebar on that? What's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
I love candied yams, 100%.
Wow.
It's like sweet potatoes.
Amanda?
Yeah.
I like sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
That's you?
And I love them.
Okay.
That's why I always make them, and he's like, what are you making?
My favorite thing is like the cornbread and sausage stuffing.
Ooh,
that's
a good one.
So you can do a sides only.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I'll roast the bird on the big green egg,
Exactly.
and Livin can do all my sides, or I'll fry my own turkey, and you guys do all the sides.
Yep, exactly. You get to do
Like
the start
that.
of the show.
That's awesome.
And then we also, on the flip, can, you know, have a full meal prepared. And then some of our chefs, we also have what we will do for like really unique requests. So we'll just refer it out to the network, because we also, we have the network of chefs who would love to support families in any way. So we've actually had people say, I just want somebody to fry my turkey. That's not a service that we on the Livin platform provide, but we have a bunch of chefs that we know. So we're happy to refer, you know, business to them in that way. And so I always tell people, just reach out and see if we can help you in any way. Absolutely. The holidays, it's a fun time. And also it's a special time. So it's even, you know, more nice to have someone come in.
Because you really do want to spend more time with your people during those times than in the kitchen.
Well, that's something my mom's always said, is sometimes she feels like she spends so much time in the kitchen and doesn't
Because she does.
She does, and you don't get to be with the people who are there, you know, to share the holiday with.
I love Nam. So holidays can be fun. When it comes to special dietary needs, nut allergies, gluten-free, metabolic health, like, can you address all those as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. So oftentimes that is one of the other motivators for people who want to use Livin, is that they're trying to manage something. You know, maybe they have an allergy, a gluten allergy. Maybe we get a lot of, you know, I just had another kid and so we're crazy, but I also want to get some of this weight off, so I'm trying to eat better. Or I have a child with an allergy, you know, and it's hard to cook for different people with different needs. We hear all of that. And our menu is specifically tagged for some of that. So you can at a glance see very easily what's gluten-free, what's vegan, etc. But it's also, as you said before, someone coming into your home and they're preparing the meals for you. So, we've had people request like Alfredo's be made dairy-free, like some of the craziest
How on
things.
earth do you make a dairy-free Alfredo?
Exactly. Go to those nut milks.
Right. Okay.
But, and again, like the chefs are very well versed and can find replacements and discuss replacements as well that will be amenable to you. So that is something I always reinforce to people, even though we have a menu that is meant to service people with different needs. Really, you can make it what you need it to be.
And if you're a Livin client and you refer someone into Livin, doesn't that benefit you in some way? Like, don't you have a referral program?
We do, yes. And we get a lot of referrals and we love them. Thanks to all of our customers, because that is actually how we grow primarily. So our customers all have a referral section in their account. They can send their referral link. Everybody has a unique referral link. They can send it to their friends and family, either on their own or even through our platform. It's super easy. And this varies depending on what promotions we might be running, but the standard is a $50 credit to your account for your next payment. And that's for when your friend actually has a service and completes a service, and your friend gets 25% off of their services, service. So it is a really nice benefit. And we've had some super referrers who end up paying very little, like $86 for their week of meals.
Power referrals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But hey, I mean, that's
really cool.
That's one way to do it.
So like, what's the feedback that you've gotten from the Atlanta families that you serve? I mean, tell us about that.
It's really special. And this is what, like, I think in the beginning I was saying, I wanted to start a business to really have greater impact on my community and what was important to me. And the feedback is what, kind of helps me feel really great about that. And so we've gotten really good feedback around some of what you said, like when you were talking about you got to do the laundry, you got to get ready for the next day, and you just felt like a weight is lifted. And I don't know, some of us recognize how much, we carry around meals and mealtime, but it is a lot, like from all the steps that we talked about, including the grocery store, to actually getting it done and cleaned up. Yeah. To remove that, we hear that a lot. And so we have a lot of busy moms who are, our primary customers, setting it up for their household. And that is one of the biggest pieces of feedback. It's like, it's just a weight lifted, the things I was able to do instead of being in the kitchen, ordering, whatever it might be, was really, really valuable. And the other thing that I love, and actually you mentioned this, is like education. We also hear that as well. It's like, we've heard from both chefs and customers that, sometimes customers will just sit down in the kitchen and have a chat and learn some new things from the chef. Sometimes they'll leave and go work or do something else in another room. It kind of depends. But those who decide to engage can pick up some new tips, and it's kind of fun and brings a whole different element that honestly I didn't even think about when we first started Livin. But that's another piece of feedback that's kind of interesting that we get.
Yeah. So here's something that I picked up from Isha. I didn't know this, and you guys probably both know this. But so she was doing the chicken breast, and she said, "Well, do you want to know how to keep your chicken breast moist?" And Amanda hates the word moist, so I'm just going to say the word moist. But you don't want a dry chicken breast, right? No one wants a dry chicken breast. So she seared the chicken breasts for a couple minutes per side at high heat. And then she put the chicken breasts on a baking dish. She deglazed the pan with some lemon juice and poured that over the chicken breast and put that in the oven. So she seared the outside and then let it kind of slowly roast. So you lock in all the juice. And I was like, at first I was like, what on earth is she doing? Because normally I would just cook it in the pan all the way. And that's why my chicken breasts suck. Did you know that?
I had no idea, but it makes sense. It's like searing a steak.
Yeah,
sear it,
exactly.
Sear in the flavors and then finish it in the oven.
Yeah, I like the deglazing too. I don't do that. I do the oven, but I don't.
I've never deglazed anything.
It's nice.
Now I'm going to deglaze everything. What has been the most unexpected lesson that you've learned from building this company?
I've really had to think about the priorities in our life as a family a lot more than I ever think I have, because it's easy for some of those things to slip when you're building something that is so demanding. Mm-hmm.
You're a transplant.
Yes.
From Connecticut to NYU to Cambridge, Massachusetts to Atlanta. When you retire,
yes.
If you could retire anywhere in the Southeast, where would it be and why?
Oh, great question. I mean, I think we love Atlanta, honestly. I don't know if we'll retire here. That's a great question. My family had made a tradition out of going to Hilton Head around the holidays, and I'd really love it. So that might be it, actually. It's just slow, like
Yep,
grab
that's
your
great.
bikes. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we love to do that.
Did you
Great
ever
restaurants.
watch Greg Russell play under the oak tree?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, he's been doing it for 50 years. I think this might be his last year, but in
wow.
Sea Pines,
Uh-huh,
there's this
yeah.
guy named Greg Russell, and he plays kid songs under the oak tree right at the harbor.
Yeah. I love going to the harbor.
Thanksgiving,
wow.
Christmas,
Yeah.
and during the summers. But
Yeah.
Hilton Head, we love.
Yeah.
I saw him as a kid.
Did you?
It's been that
Oh
long.
my
And then we
gosh.
took our kids there and saw him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Going from such a high-paced corporate job to being like a business owner, how I would assume that you would still have kind of like the same intensity and crazy schedule. Like, how do you balance that being a mom, though?
Yeah, it's a really good question because it's interesting. Everybody is always like, oh, you own your own business, so you have so much flexibility, which it's interesting. It's true. You have flexibility, but you have so much that needs to get done. And so whether or not you take advantage, right? Like, I don't have to take a 9 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. meeting, but like I usually do because like the rest of the day is packed with things that need to get done. And so it's interesting because there is flexibility there, but there's just so much to do. And so that's what I really personally struggle with, honestly. So like, you know, with kids, you know, we had kids meetings at schools, you know, this past week. And so, and they start at 5 and I am not done with my day at 5. And we also we're now bi-coastal. And so I'm definitely not done with my day at 5 Eastern. So
That's right. You opened up. You're in LA now,
we
too.
did, exactly. Okay. And so all of these things, and as a mom, right, we also have soccer practice and everything else that seemingly everything starts at 5.
Right.
It does.
So yes.
Well, they're 4 hours behind.
And so
it's like,
yeah.
When
and
do you
then,
sleep?
Yeah, exactly. We got those 3 hours that are like,
Why would you pick LA?
as a mom, like I honestly, I kind of have to pick into some of those like off hours, early morning to get stuff started.
That's
And then,
my time.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love it.
It's the best time of day.
Nobody's working
Nobody
then.
is working. Nobody's bothering you. My kids are early risers, but not before 6. So like if I can beat them, it's amazing.
Amanda's like 4:30 to
Amazing
6 is
It's
when she
amazing.
gets everything
Exactly. And it's necessary and it's hard sometimes. Like I'm exhausted, right? But like at the same time, it helps me to do the things that I really want to do because I do want to be, you know, able to take my kid or pick my kid up every now and then, or you know, whatever it is. You know, my husband's a great partner too, so he, as it sounds like you guys too as well. Like we split everything. So that helps a lot. But yeah, owning your own business, it is more work because likely you're wearing many, many more hats than you were in a corporate job, don't have nearly as many resources. And so finding the hours, being really clear on priorities again, I think has been helpful, but it's still really hard, honestly. Like I really struggle with it every day. Yeah.
Yeah. But hopefully you love what you're doing. So
I do.
It makes it worth
and so
it.
it helps. Yeah. And like you said, the customer feedback, and that's what, and I tell people all the time, like, we want to hear from you, positive or negative, but like, I love hearing from people, and very often we're hearing the things that keep me going, honestly. One of the things that we often talk about with Livin is that there's this wonderful like relationship that you can build with a chef. And we love that. You know, some people are like, well, do you want people to stick with the same chef or try different chefs? I love for people to find their chef, as we say it. Our platform is meant to just make the transaction easy. The real magic and like the help really comes from that relationship. And so having someone who knows you and your family, and you mentioned picky eaters a little bit ago, you know, picky eaters are selective eaters. Selective eaters are hard for anyone, including a chef. But the more a chef gets to know your family and, you know, the more they get to know what the preferences are, they can make some pretty awesome things happen.
Right.
And so that's what I always encourage, you know, and it's also great for our community as, you know, Atlanta and even, you know, broader surrounding Atlanta, to support these local culinary artists who are building careers, who have a passion for this space and just want to do more of it. It creates a really nice benefit for the family, of course, but also for the chefs. And so I always like to mention that too.
Okay. That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. Thank you for listening to Retire Southern. You can find this episode and more on our website, retiresouthern.com. You can also follow Retire Southern on social media and wherever you podcast. If you have any questions or feedback, feel free to email me at james@retiresouthern.com. If you want to hire Erica, you go to choose Livin, LIVIN.com without the G. Erica, thank you so much for joining us today. I think we might try the Thanksgiving sides option.
Oh, yes.
I think that could be some fun.
No stress around the holidays.
No stress.
That's what, we're about.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.